Welcome, Taurus. This is your monthly focus for 2016, February 2016. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly. And before we get to the energy of the month, thank you. Thank you for all the support you give me through your likes, through your comments, through subscribing, or just showing up. Thank you so much. Truly. Thank you for being a part of my path forward. So now let's get to the energy of you. Let's get to the cards. Now we start with the Happily Ever After card. Oh, how great is that? 10 of Cups. So it's about creating your happily ever after this month. That's where your energy, that's where your focus, that's where your determination, your drive is going to come from. So what is your happily ever after? You have to have a definition of what your happily ever after is before you can actually pursue it, make long-term plans. And I think being a Taurus, you have a very good sound idea of it. So it's not so much the planning now, but there's a lot of motion forward now. Definitely in the cards, there's a lot of motion forward now. So one thing that I would ask you to do this month is to take time to imagine your perfect world. See the people that surround you. See your daily routine. See yourself at work, within the community, within the neighborhood. See yourself at home. Who's around you? What does it look like? How much money is in the bank book, in the bank account, in the coffers? And envision your happily ever after. This would be a beautiful month to make a vision board. Okay, so it's really, you can go out and get a bulletin board. That's probably the easiest way, and put it somewhere in your house that you see it, but it's private. And hang up pictures, and hang up words, and hang up photos of your happily ever after. A picture of what your house looks like, or a picture of doing a certain kind of job, or creating something, a symbol. And you can put your own words up there. And add to it. Add one thing a day for 29 days. It's a leap year, right? So February. I didn't know that for January's, for Aries. I had to look it up. I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. And I didn't want to just say, oh, it's a leap year. And it wasn't. So I wasn't sure. So I said so. But I looked it up. It is a leap year for us. So in 29 days, imagine what that bulletin board, what that vision board would look like for you. And now you would look at, once again, where you are and how do you make those steps to get there. But I see you as a forward motion this month. Secondly, we have the moon card, so it has to give you balance this month. If it doesn't feel right in your gut, it's probably not right this month. So when people are asking you to do things or signing you up for responsibilities and obligations, some of it's going to feel right, yes, some of it is not going to feel right, and that's where you need to say no. Can't do it. Sorry. It has to give you an inner balance. It has to give you peace of mind. You have to understand maybe the value that it brings to your life. And not everything we do, it's not a selfish thing. You could work at the soup kitchen if it gives you balance, if it feels right to you, if you feel that that is a beautiful way that you can give back to the community. For every action that we think would be an undesirable action, there's somebody in the world that would love to do that on a daily basis. So it has to be whether or not it gives you balance, not what society tells you, not what your friends and family tell you. And that's going to be a key component in your happily ever after and designing it this month. It's like you're designing it. We have the Four of Wands. Okay, this is your structure, your your sense of security. Now, this is typically the marriage card, the proposal card. So when it comes to love, there could be proposals, there could be taking things to the next level. There could be meeting somebody that's really going to bring in that grounded feeling. Somebody you can lean on, somebody that will work with you and raise you up as you would raise them up. But in a general reading, I would have to think it is, this is the beginning of your castle. Okay, yeah, we only got 4 wands in the ground. We do put a canopy on it though, so we are expecting the luxury to be there. We are building upon those 4 wands already. Okay, and one day it's going to be our happily ever after castle. Right now, looks a little bit more like 4 sticks in the ground with a piece of tarp over it, but that's okay because we know what it's going to look like. We see it. It fuels us. It really does fuel us. Over top of those 3 cards, we have the Death card. Okay, and this is almost like feeling a sense of freedom this month, a sense of liberation this month, of doing the right things, of the right opportunities coming to you. Maybe it's money coming in, maybe it's love coming in, maybe it's health. But by concentrating really on moving forward and how you're moving forward, what your happily ever after looks like, what surrounds you now that gives you that sense of, okay, I can build upon this structure, I can build upon this relationship, I can build upon this situation. And you're going to feel a self-confidence raising yourself this month. You're going to feel like you are moving in the right direction. You are going to feel a little bit more liberated and free in your approaches to things and how you master them, how you get things done, how you move forward. Now, the undercurrent of the month is the 4 of Pentacles. So, in order to create our happily ever after, what do we need to leave in our past? What are we holding on to as our little security blanket that we need to let go of, Many children, they have that security blanket, and it comes to a point where the parents say, we've got to get rid of the blanket. It's time to get rid of the blanket. So it could be something that gave you a real sense of security, like a security blanket would when you're a child, when you're an infant. But you can stand on your own 2 feet and you can stand with an independence, and you don't need to lean upon that thing anymore because it didn't really give you value. Much like the security blanket, there was no true value in that blanket. It's what we projected onto that blanket that made it so important in our lives. But once the blanket was gone, we were fine. So what part of your life is your security blanket? That's a question that really needs to be asked so that you can move from it, so that you can feel that liberation, that you can feel that sense of freedom. Now, the second part of this card is the pentacles, or the coins that lay at the base of your feet, are your gifts, are your talents. They're the ones that you were born with. They're the things that you can do that nobody else can. So how are you embracing that and using it in your forward path? So it's time to pick up your tools and go to work and become and master what you were sent here to do, to be, to grow into. Now, the very beginning of the month, or it could have been the tail end of January, but we come through with the King of Pentacles. So maybe you are trying to get a job. Maybe you are in for that promotion. Maybe you are getting that raise in pay. Maybe you are teaming up with somebody to go into business. Maybe You've looked over, I don't think it's looking over your budget though. I really don't. You might have looked over your budget, but I don't really see it for most. It's something that brings in money at the very beginning of the month. It could be taking a hobby actually and turning it into something that makes money for yourself. So once again, leaning on your natural gifts and talents to bring in abundance, to bring in well-being, to create that happily ever after for yourself. Now, your hat, your crown, is a plant, a living plant, a growing plant. So it's growing the ideas. It's coming up with new ways of doing things, new growth, new possibilities, new opportunities. But he is very grounded in tradition. So it's not about risk-taking this month. It's not about gambling, stepping off the ledge and hoping that you'll be caught. It's staying grounded. It's doing the hard work. It's doing all the steps. It's reading the fine print. It's knowing how to bring in the most value for your time or your energy, or maybe even your own money. Maybe you are looking at ways of investing that will bring in a bigger return for you. The overall energy for the month is the Wheel of Fortune. So I do believe there will be change for you this month. I do believe that the change will be closing doors, and we've already discussed it a couple of times within the cards, of closing off a part of your life or walking past a part of your life into a new part of your life. So it could be job promotions. Absolutely. It could be a new job. It could be getting together within a new group within the community or something. Although I don't think, unless there is money attached to it, I wouldn't think that that would be a way that you are closing a door and opening up a new door. Because I really think that this has a lot to do with finances. Although it could be, well, I mean, a relationship. If a relationship ends, that's definitely a change in your finances. But this is a change to the better. Okay, because whatever lays behind that new door is always better than what you were leaving. So don't be so worried if you hear that door slam behind you, because that just means that you're moving into abundance. You're moving into your happily ever after. And it's necessary for change to occur in order for growth to occur. I think that by month's end, you have a feeling of balance, a feeling of you've made some strides, that you are ahead of the game, where you felt like maybe coming into the month you weren't ahead of the game. So it's where you are putting your focus, of course. If it is relationships, then there is now, you've had the conversations, you've had the situations to address the issues in a relationship in order to bring in balance in your life. There could be, I'm thinking job promotion. I'm thinking money coming in, a new way of making money, money working better for you, something that gives you more of a balance, that you know that the money's in the bank to pay the bills. You could have come into the month hoping to start a new business, but not knowing exactly how it was all going to come together, but it does. Because the door closed and a new one opened. So I think going into March, you're going to feel a lot more centered, a lot more in balance, a lot more, um, you're stable. You're feeling the freedom, you're feeling the liberation. Now we have the Hermit. So, you know what? You actually could be pulling yourself out of situations this month, demanding more quiet time, maybe more rest. Okay, I associate the Hermit with somebody who would go off into the desert to tap into their spirituality, to tap into their wisdom, to tap into their intuition, to tap into their heart. And when they come out of the desert, they're clear-minded. They have a clarity. They have a knowledge of how to go forward. So The only thing I would say to this is, yes, you need to, if you need quiet time, then take quiet time. If you need days off, then you need to take days off. But make sure that the people that you love the most around you know that it's not about them, that you just need this time for yourself to recharge your batteries. And it's not necessarily that you even need quiet or rest, but maybe it's doing things for yourself. So if you like walks in the woods, but nobody will go, then maybe you just need to take yourself, or a walk through a greenhouse, or reading a book, doing some sort of woodworking or craft. But it's time with just you and yourself and what makes you happy and what brings you joy and contentment to recharge your batteries. And prayer and meditation is a big part of it, always. Okay, other people, though, are going to see you as completely different, because here you are. This is how they see you, running out into that field, sword raised, yelling charge. And people are going to see you as if, you don't believe in the word failure. It's success, and they see the determination. They see the drive in you this month. So that could be where raises and promotions come up, obviously, because they're seeing your drive. They're seeing your determination. They see how you want to champion the cause. And so people looking in on your life, the spotlight of you this month from everybody else, is you with this vigor, you with this determination, you with this goal in mind, in your sights. And you come to the realization that there is a lot of work to be done. So that part doesn't go away. It's hard work going forward. But also you are looking at what you do and how you do it, and how to raise the bar on yourself. How to turn out a better product, or how to have better value for your time or your energy or your resources. And so these are all things that'll bring in strength, but it's only from the hard work. It's only from the determination that you actually get to this point in the month. So it's about having the focus on your happily ever after and where you want to go, and doing the work needed in order to further your progress down the road. And we have the Ten of Pentacles going into March. So this is your yes card. This is kind of the result of this month, but going into next month. This is the energy you carry through. So there's more money to be had, or the well-being is there, or the freedom is there, or the liberation is there. So this card really, in essence, says everything that you want can be yours going forward. We have the hard work. We know there's a lot of hard work, but it has to give us balance. We know there's certain doors that have to close. And we also know that we have to use our unique talents and gifts in order to prosper properly, sustain long-term sustainability. So when I picked your love card, it was the Hierophant. So if anything in love, it's more of a feeling this month. It's not something you can put into words. We did have the marriage and proposal cards, so yes, there could be proposals. There could be marriages that come out of this February. So we have Valentine's Day, right? Also, you might be looking, especially if you are in a relationship or you are meeting someone new, you want to see if they have the same spiritual values as you. So, and it kind of, it's like, the Catholics had to marry the Catholics and the Protestants had to marry the Protestants, and they couldn't marry each other because that was just wrong. But it's we're in line, right? It was to keep the same values going, so there wouldn't be conflicts within the families. And so in our own minds, and today we are looking at their spirituality and how they embrace their spirituality, what they look at, do they believe in God, angels, spirit guides? Do they think that it is the universe? Do they think that we are all connected? Do they think that you have to do good in the world in order to receive good in the world? You're looking at their values and your values and seeing how they combine. So that could be when you're meeting somebody, and that could be in the relationship you're in, or maybe trying to find a new practice that you can do together spiritually. So maybe it's doing a meditation every day, or maybe it's going to the yoga class together, or maybe you've decided to go to a church or a synagogue or a mosque, whatever it is that you are, you know, spiritually connected in some way. And so I think that is probably the big part of relationships this month for you, is how you connect spiritually, how you become one spiritually. And so it could be bringing in a new practice, a new way of doing things, a new thing that you do together. Maybe it's building upon something you already do. But also, when this card is here, it's love is almost like it's a feeling, completely a feeling. It brings out the passion, the sensuality, the true deep love that can be felt within a relationship. When I pulled your career card, it's the Six of Wands. So, even if you are coming from a very bad place, I think at the very beginning of the month with the King of Pentacles there, something happens that triggers something even better, and it just keeps going for you. The Six of Wands is the success card, the victory card. Okay? Now, if you look at this card, you are on the horse, the lead horse in a parade, and the other wands that surround you are people cheering you on. They're giving you the attaboy. They're the one putting your name in for the job. They're the one recommending you for the position. They're the one that you can lean on when you need to. So it's about people in our life this month. And then when I pulled spirituality, it was the Queen of Cups. So it's your humanitarianism. It's what you do for your community is going to build your spirituality the most. Okay, now it could have something to do with love, because that was a lot about spirituality. It's about loving you. I can guarantee you that with this card here. It's appreciating you for all you do. It's for not taking yourself for granted. But it's about how you interact with maybe just the family, maybe a loved one, maybe friends within the community perhaps. This is a beautiful month to do some humanitarian work of some sort. Donate your time for 3 hours this month. 3 hours isn't a lot of time in 29 days. So where could you give 3 hours of your time? And if it's not time, where could you write that check to help them out? And if it's not a check, then maybe you need to clean out a closet and donate it to give it to someone less fortunate than yourself. We don't have to make it money. It can be our time. It can be our energy. It could be donating your time to a crisis line for 3 hours a month. I don't know if that's even a possibility, but if it is, what a great avenue to be there for somebody when they need somebody to lean on, because you are strong this month. You are powerful this month. Now, when we get to health, though, I shouldn't have said that, because we get to health. Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is watching yourself, taking care of yourself, knowing what you should be doing and not doing. So this is a month where you really have to watch your routine. Make sure you're not burning the candle at both ends. Make sure that you are eating properly. And you could, this is actually, if you're looking at health, this could be something that, especially if you have an old injury or a reoccurring pain or ache, or maybe it's migraines, maybe it's a sciatic nerve, maybe it's arthritis. It's those kind of things. It's when you start to wear yourself down, that's when you start to go downhill. Now, and usually it's just rest, it's relaxation, it's making sure that you're not overdoing it in anywhere. You know, even here, we are only taking certain swords with us. We're not taking everything with us. We're not trying to do it all, be it all for everybody. And that's the fastest way of depleting your energy and not feeling in top form. And you can feel in very good form this month. So watch yourself, and make sure that you're eating right and you're exercising and you're getting enough sleep. And you're putting only good into your body to produce good results long term in your life. Let's pick you an angel card. So I think you're going to have a beautiful month. It's all about your happily ever after. Make that board, that some people call it a dream board, some people call it a vision board. You can give it its own name, but it's creating your happily ever after. Get some words up there, get some pictures, get some photos of different things. Maybe you want to go on a trip, so put a picture of the resort up on your board. Maybe you want to look like something different, and put that, maybe you want to work out, lose some weight. Put it up on the board. And we have the Queen of Ariel. Nurture yourself and those you love. The ability to make anything more beautiful, practical, and wise advice. So nurture yourself. Absolutely, I got that. Oh, I buried her alive with the angel cards, especially with the Queen of Cups. For our spirituality, to love ourselves, to appreciate ourselves. The ability to make anything more beautiful. Yes, I really do think, creation, and that's why I talked about the vision board, is being able to envision it by looking at it every day, by seeing it, by being reminded of it, by changing our thought patterns towards what we are working towards, our happily ever after. Practical and wise advice. Yeah, I don't see you taking risks this month. I don't see you pushing the belt, so to speak. I think you're wise in what you do. There's a lot of royalty in these cards. There's a lot of royalty in these cards, so it tends to make me think that you're going to think things through. And with the moon card as your second card, I mean, that's all about asking yourself each and every time, does this give me balance? Does this feel right? Is this the good approach forward for me? Is this the conversation I want to have? Is this the situation I want to put myself into? So the Queen of Ariel, mature, practical, generous, and happy. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.